Mad Dog's back, and Tampa Bay speaking out. Mad Dog's back, he's the talk show host people scream about. You've been gone for a while and we missed your ass. S-U-N bit the dust, so we kissed your ass. Lassiter, you're hired.
Lassiter, you're hired.
Your talent's required.
Your talent's required.
Well, we hope you're prepared, cause we got him on the air. Mad Dog's back. 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 Mad Dog's back.
Live from Tampa, Florida, the nation's gizzard, it's the magnificent Lassiter Show, starring the magnificent Lassiter, featuring the nimble fingers of Flounder at the control board, and the world's most dangerous news guy, Paul Mann. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lassiter.
Young man, let me tell you something right now. I come down here every year. And I've been coming down here for 24 years, and I, in my entire life, have never heard such an outrageous, outlandish person on a show.
Well, thank you.
You should be reported to the Chamber of Commerce or the FCC. I am going to write letters to the superiors.
Oh, sir, that's not necessary. Sir, that's not necessary. I have already received accommodations, or commendations, rather, from Chamber of Commerce.
I spent $800 to get down here. Alice is listening, and she's not very appreciative of what you've been doing here.
Who's not very appreciative? Who's not very appreciative?
She's very upset.
Who's upset, sir?
She's very upset.
Who is upset?
My wife is very upset, and so am I.
Well, why didn't she call?
I don't like this at all. You've got no business talking about us this way. We go to the vegetable markets almost every other day.
I'll bet you do.
I never squeeze fruit. I've spent a lot of
How about vegetables, though?
I've spent a lot of money down here. You have no right speaking of this in this matter. I had my car service here. I've had my car serviced here twice since I've been here.
I know, sir, and every time you come down here, about 40 of us have to have our cars serviced.
You've got no business talking about us in this manner. We are supporting you people. Don't you understand? If we quit coming down here, you'll be out of a job, sir. And I will report you, and I've heard about you before in the trailer parks. What's so funny about that, buddy?
Do you mean my fame has spread to the trailer parks?
What is so funny about living in a trailer park?
Nothing, sir.
I'm living in an Airstream right now, and I don't think it's very funny about the...
Wait a second. You come down here from where? What was it, Iowa?
I've come all the way down here.
From Iowa?
Come all the way down
dragging
here.
A trailer? Dragging a trailer? You're not even staying in a motel. And you think you're supporting me?
I am supporting you and your service. You've got no business.
Sir, there aren't any Airstream factories in Tampa Bay.
I fought for you. And I come back to this country, and what do I have to listen to? Some young hippie such as yourself.
Well, sir, I can well understand why you would think that a 41-year-old man was a young hippie, but that's neither here nor there.
I bet you've got a convertible and there's a surfboard hanging out the back. I bet you do.
No, sir, it's a Woody with a surfboard hanging out the back.
Too.
On drugs?
Are you on drugs, sir? I bet you use marijuana and all this kind of stuff. I bet you live a very loose lifestyle.
What kind of a lifestyle?
A very loose lifestyle.
Very loose.
I'm listening to you every night, and you've got to remember this, that we might stay here.
Oh, my God! You might stay here?
I might report you. I'm going to report you to the
Trailer Park Association.
I'm going to write management a letter, and you won't like it. You'll be very afraid.
Sir, my name is Lassiter. That's Lassiter, care of the Lassiter Broadcasting Company.
You're in trouble now.
No, sir, I own the station.
You're in trouble now.
No, I own the place. My mother bought it.
And I've heard about the way you talk about our president, and I think it's a disgrace.
Why don't you write him a letter?
I have written him many letters.
Hasn't done you damn bit of good, has it?
I don't like the way you talked about Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. Me and my wife stayed at the resort for 2 weeks, and we had a lovely and various enjoyment time.
Would you park your Airstream there, or just stay in a hotel room there?
We stayed in a hotel room
Figures.
there. And we're going to go back, and I will help support his ministry.
Great.
You have done a disservice.
Could you leave tonight?
God, I have never heard anyone lambaste the ministers and a nation such as this in my entire life, sir.
Well, you're lucky you've heard somebody do it now.
I'm going to write a letter to the manager. I'm going to write a letter
That's
to
Mrs. Lassiter, Lassiter. That's the manager's name, Mrs. Lassiter.
You're in the phone book.
That's right. It's in the phone book.
Now you're making me scream, and you're making me scream and holler.
That's one of the things I do best.
Sir, why do you carry on in this manner? This is a very, very outlandish and monstrous tactic you're using.
You got it.
This is not right. Why don't you help the old people? Why don't you help us?
Sir, I'd like to help you out. Which way did you come in?
Sir, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to write you a letter. And you will receive this letter. And you won't like it. I'm going to write more than one letter. I'm going to write the station. I'm going to write the Chamber of Commerce. I, too, will write the Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce will be flooded with letters.
Will you put a lot of kisses up the bottom?
I bet you have a surfboard, don't you? I bet you wear short cut-off jeans and sandals and beads and probably wear sunglasses all the time. And I bet you haven't shaved in 3 months.
It's closer to 3 years, sir.
Last time you had a shave?
About 3 years ago.
Are you married or are you living in sin?
Little of each.
You continue to outrage us.
Well, thank you.
You continue to tell the whole world, the whole public here, that you're living in sin. This is monstrous. I give 10% of pay to the PTL Club, and I will continue to write to PTL Club.
Oh, Jim's living in sin.
And I am going
to send me 10% too?
I am going to write a letter to the PTL Club and tell them what you've been saying about them. And you may hear from the PTL Club.
Sir, we've tried to get them on the show before. They won't come on.
You're in trouble now. You're in trouble now.
Well, sir, I guess I'll just have to wax up my board and go with the flow, you know?
I'm going to stay here. I'm going to call the police.
We're all in trouble now.
I'll call the police on you. I mean it. I'm serious.
Whoa there. You're going to call the police?
I'm threatening you now, sir. You've got me upset. I'll call the police. I swear I'll call the police. Do you want me to call the police on you? You think it's funny? I will call the police.
Do I think it's funny? Do I think it's funny? Are you kidding me?
Be afraid, aren't you?
Are you pulling my leg?
Sir, I'll lock you up. I'll have you locked up, sir. You can't do this.
This is the greatest call I've ever had in my entire career.
You think that you're
It's probably the greatest call ever to talk radio.
You think by laughing that you're showing me that you're not afraid. You are afraid. I know it.
Oh, God.
I've got 5 letters to write, sir.
5 letters now. Oh, my goodness. You got a busy night ahead of you.
I'm going to start right now.
Okay.
Have a bad night, hippie.
17 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. It's a Monday, April the 1st, 1996. You've got to forgive me. This is a little bit weird. It's very weird for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's been, a little over 4 months since I was allowed to talk on the radio. That's never really happened to me before, but it happened this time. Such is life. Win some, lose some. It has been almost 7 years since I sat down at a microphone at WFLA. And now I'm back. Everything's different. Chair's different. The room. Even the building. It's not even the same building. It's not the same microphone. Michael is no longer the board op. But it's the same place on the dial. And it's the same place in my heart. It's still WFLA. It's a hell of a set of call letters, you know. And the last time I did a show here, I said that I would always be proud to say that they once let me work at this radio station. And I meant it. I'm just as proud and pleased that they let me come back. Somehow I always knew that I'd be back on FLA. I don't know, maybe that sounds a little bit arrogant. But somehow I always knew it. Probably should have never left, but I did. It's a long story. Maybe I'll get around to it one of these days. So, why am I here? Why did I come back? The answer is really very simple. To make your life miserable. If you want your life made miserable, that's what I enjoy doing. That's all. Honest. You know, I'm not here to change your mind about anything. You know, I think a little statement of policy might be in order. I'm not here to change your mind about anything. I mean, if you want to change your own mind, then, you know, that's up to you. If you don't, hey, that's okay too. I mean, I don't care if you agree with me or not on this radio show. It's not important to me. I'm, you know, basically an entertainer. I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to fill 3 hours of airtime and to have, you know, as easy a time doing it as humanly possible, and to get my jollies. And my jollies are making people who want to be miserable absolutely, positively miserable. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong, though you probably are. I'm not here to give you the answers to whatever the hell the problems may be. I'm not here to give you the solutions to whatever the hell the problems may be. You've got to figure them out for yourself. I'm here for one reason and only one reason. I want to make your miserable head hurt. I get a kick out of doing that. I really do. I like to yank the rug out from underneath people. So I get my jollies. You know, some people play golf, some people do cross-stitch, I don't know, some people go skiing, and you know, that's how they get their jollies. I get my jollies yanking the rug out from underneath people. Sanctimonious people. I don't know, maybe you've never heard me before, and you're kind of wondering who in the hell I am. There certainly has been enough hoopla and brouhaha about my quote-unquote return, for which, by the way, I'm very grateful. I thought the station did a great job with that. I'm me. I'm not a liberal, although conservatives think I am, and I'm certainly not a conservative, nor am I a moderate. I'm me. And I'd have it no other way. See, people are afraid to be themselves anymore. They've got to be this or they've got to be that. They have to be identified with this or that. I don't understand that. I don't like being identified with a group or a cause or a thought or a philosophy or an organization. I like to be me. And you know why I like to be me? Because nobody else is. Not because I'm the best, not because I'm, great, not because I'm right, but because nobody else is me. I don't belong to any groups. I don't belong to any organizations that espouse any philosophies. And by the way, I have very little time for people who do. Basically, I'm content and satisfied with my life. Yeah, sure, I got my problems. Who the hell doesn't? And basically, I'm fed up with the world around me, like almost everybody else is. See, I cannot deal with people who speak without thinking. I cannot deal with people who believe things that they haven't really thought about. That kind of stuff pisses me off, man. Big time. So, I like to go around poking those kind of people with a stick. And that pisses them off. Oh, pisses them off big time. And I enjoy that. So I cannot deal with people who live in a world that's either black or white. It's either my way or no way. It's the way I see it or it's not. See, my world is gray. There's no black in my world. There's no white in my world. It's a gazillion shades of gray. And yours is too, by the way, if only you would admit to it. See, it doesn't make any difference to me if you love me. Oh, Oh, Bob, I love you. Doesn't make any difference to me if you hate me. I don't need your love. Your hate doesn't bother me at all. All I want you to do is listen. That's all. I don't care why you listen. I don't care if you listen because you like what I say. I don't care if you listen because you can't stand me. I don't care if you listen because you like to hear me beat up on people, or I don't care if you listen because you like to hear people beat up on me. It doesn't make any difference to me. I just care that you listen. And if I do my job right, you'll listen. And if I really do my job right, I'm going to challenge everything that you believe. Everything. Without exception. The important stuff. The not so important stuff. And the stuff in between. I'm going to make your head hurt. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here to be your best buddy, nor your guidance counselor, nor your teacher. Let's get that straight. I am nothing more than the voice on the radio. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. And what you do with that, what you do with what you hear, that's totally up to you. So, don't look to me for reassurance. Don't look to me for support or for much of anything along those lines, because you're not going to find it. You'll never be able to quite figure me out. So don't even try. What difference does it make? I'm just a voice on the radio, that's all. Just a voice on the radio. But if I do my job, A, you're going to listen, and B, you might come away understanding yourself a little bit better. You might come away understanding yourself a lot better. Not because of my wisdom, but because maybe, with a little bit of luck, you might come away at the end of the night not afraid to be yourself. Not afraid to be you. You won't have to be a Republican. You won't have to be a liberal. You won't have to be a lion. You won't have to be a Christian. You can be you if you want to be. If you have the nerve to be. Like I said, I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care, because I'm not here to convert you or to enlighten you. But it would make me very, very happy if you would at least think about, really think about the things that you say and the things that you say that you believe in. Because all too often most people don't. In the hours and the days and the weeks and the months, and frankly I hope the years ahead, you're going to hear a lot of people. And most of them have not really thought about what it is that they're saying. If you listen to this radio station today, you heard people talk without thinking. If you listened to it yesterday, you heard people talk without thinking. If you've ever listened to it, you heard people talk without thinking. If you ever overheard a conversation at McDonald's or at the Walmart or at the park or at the stadium, you hear people talk without thinking. Drives me insane. You got to think about what you say. You have to think about the ramifications of what you believe, what you espouse. You've got to think about the consequences. Think about what it really is that you're saying. And I'll warn you at the outset, I don't take any crap from people. I don't take any crap from people at all. If you can't stand up to me, then let me give you some advice. I don't give advice to people very often, but I'll give you some advice on this one. If you can't stand up to me, then save yourself the grief and don't even try. You see, because I don't care how old you are. Oh, Bob, I don't care if you're nervous. Oh, be gentle with me. This is my first time. I don't care. I don't care how young you are. I don't care if it's your first call or your third or your 93rd. Whatever. Because I ain't going to cut you in the slack. Not because I'm a mean man. but because the things that we're going to be talking about are basically important and basically serious. And by the way, what I do is important and serious to me because this is what I do for a living. I ain't no babysitter. I got a tough job. Oh, most of the time it's relatively easy, but I mean, think about it. I got a tough job. I gotta, somehow get you to listen to me, to listen to this radio station, to, in essence, change your life. That's a tough job. So, like I said, I ain't gonna cut you no slack. Some nights I'm just gonna come in and goof on you. Because I'll just be in the mood to do it, that's why. But most nights I'm gonna be deadly serious. We're doing something here that, frankly, excites me. Ooh. We're doing something that, well, I'm kind of ahead of myself. You see, there was a time 10 years ago. There was a time when the night time was a very, very special time on talk radio. I had the daytimes when you had your filler. It was that nighttime then. But for one reason or another, that changed. And nighttime talk radio has become, to be charitable, abysmal. Well, it's not going to be abysmal anymore. Over the last couple of years, I haven't been able to do what I wanted to do. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong, I had a hell of a lot of fun. But I wasn't able to do what I do best. Because you can't do what I do best in afternoon drive or in middays because people can't listen, cannot participate the way that they can at night. You see, in the daytime, people are basically listening to you when they're, working at the office or whatever it might be. At night, they're not doing something else. They're listening to you. And I take that real serious. I take it real, real serious. It's 7:30. 7:33 the time. Love those pregnant pauses, don't you? Something just dawned on me. Something absolutely terrible. I gotta push this button. Oh, my carts are incompatible.
Socks!
Oh, well, that's okay. But they don't pick up the stop.
WFLA socks!
Ah, well, it's the way it goes. Anyway, where was I? Well, okay. See, I am good. I'm incredibly good at what I do. People are supposed to have humility. People are supposed to, be humble. Well, you can't be humble and do what I do. I'm good at what I do. I'm probably the best you've ever heard. I mean, just think about it. I can make you cry. I can literally make you sit there and sob like a baby, or I can just make your eyes mist over, depending upon what I want. I can make you laugh. I can make you laugh out loud. I can put a smile on your face. I can make you think about what it is that... No, I think they're just completely incompatible. I believe that they're a different system, if I'm not mistaken. That's the way it goes. Anyway, where was I? I can paint pictures with words. I can paint pictures with words that are so vivid that you'll be able to actually see what I'm saying. Because I'm good. I can tell a hell of a story. I can make you hang on every single word. But you know what I do the best? I make people mad. Why do I make people mad? Kind of like what I'm doing right now to some of you. People get mad at me because, well, basically I'm right in what I have to say. And that makes them angry. They know it, but they can't deal with it because they don't like what I have to say. Otherwise, they wouldn't get mad, would they? Otherwise, they would just say, it's phooey. But no, they're there day after day to listen to what I have to say, even though it makes them angry. Yeah, I'm good at what I do. See, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, and I don't pretend to be. I'm very well aware of the fact. I'm not the dumbest guy in the world either, and I'm very well aware of that fact. I've had my ups and downs in life, personally, professionally. But I do what I do very well. And I plan on doing a hell of a lot of it here. A hell of a lot of it. I make people mad. Because I like to pull that rug out from underneath them, like I've already said. I like to challenge everything that they've ever been taught, everything that they've ever subscribed to, everything that they want to believe. I like that. I like to raise questions. Questions that don't always have answers. Questions that can make people uncomfortable. And that tends to make people angry. I enjoy that. Like I said, I don't have the answers. Sometimes there aren't any answers. Well, okay, so I do have the answers, all right? But they're usually unrealistic. They're unrealistic because they require you to do something. They're unrealistic because they require me to do something. If you've ever listened to me before, you may have heard me say, I will never accuse you of anything that I am not guilty of myself. That would be hypocritical on my part. If I talk about a shortcoming that I think you have, it's because I see it in myself too. I have questions about all kinds of things. Questions about life and politics and religion. Questions about philosophies and policies, about all kinds of stuff. Not because I have found the answers. I haven't. On the contrary. I have questions because I'm always questioning myself. Anytime I get to feeling as though, yeah, that's the way it ought to be. That's the way it is. Damn it. Then I know it's time to question myself. And every day, every place I go, I turn on the radio, I walk down the street, I hear people saying flat out, yeah, that's the way it is. That's the way it ought to be. It's the way I want it to be. At some point, I don't know, maybe tonight still, who knows? But at some point, some poor, unsuspecting soul will be sitting out there in radio land listening to me, not hearing a word I'm saying usually, but listening to me. And this poor, unsuspecting soul will waddle over to the telephone and dial one of the telephone numbers that I will give out later. And the poor, unsuspecting soul will sit there for an eternity, in all probability, on hold. And then, without warning, I'll say something like, St. Pete, hi, you're on the air. And this poor, unsuspecting soul will say something like, oh, Bob, you sound like you're searching for the answers. Oh, Bob, I have found them. I have found God, or I have found whatever. It doesn't make any difference. I'm not trying to pick on anything in particular. And at that point, I will explode. Because I ain't searching for your answers. I'm searching for mine. Actually, I'm not really searching for anything. I'm just questioning. I've been around a long time. I've pretty much come to the conclusion that there really aren't answers. Well, not easy ones anyway. Sad truth is there really aren't any answers because there isn't any political party that will solve whatever it is that you don't like about the world. There's no particular philosophy that will solve whatever it is that you don't like about the world. There isn't any religion. None of these things are the answer. If there is an answer, you know what it is? Go on, take a guess. What's your favorite problem? I don't care what it is. New stadium, welfare, the breakup of the family. I don't care. What is your favorite problem? You know what the answer to it is? You. And you know what everybody else says? Well, everybody else says the answer to the problem is somebody else doing something. Not them, somebody else. And I sit here and tell you, no, you. And that's what pisses people off, by the way. It's you and how you deal with the world. That's as good as it gets. And that's what I'm going to tell you. Night after night. Hell, I've been doing this for 25 years. I haven't changed. Been saying the same thing for 25 years. Actually, been on the radio. I've been saying it in real life for a little longer than that. It's as good as it gets, you. If you don't like what's going on, then accept your responsibility for whatever role it is that you play in whatever that problem is, and clean up your act. Set a good example. You know, strangely enough, people don't like to hear that. They don't want to face it. They don't want to face it. But it's the truth. It's the truth, plain and simple. End of story. When I realized I was coming back here, this goes back 5-6 weeks ago, I don't know, maybe even a little bit more. Time is a blur, and the last 4 months have been bizarre. I turned on the radio. I was listening to Larson. I'll be honest with you, I would check in and listen to Larson from time to time, but every day it's the same damn thing. Every day. Oh, yeah, faggots are, liberals. Same crap day in and day out. Never once have I ever heard that man say, I messed up. Never once have I ever heard that man say, holy mother of God, I'm part of the problem. No, it's always somebody else. And the solution is always somebody else doing something, paying for it or changing their act or whatever. And I can take so much of this and no more. Well, anyway, this particular morning, this guy calls up. And I don't know why. I don't know what in the hell they were talking about for sure. But he calls up and he says something about, he's got 3 kids and it seems to me he was making like 15, 16 grand a year. Larson rips him a new one and sends him on his way, dismisses him unceremoniously. And then sits there and does a, little mini monologue about, people don't take personal responsibility. That's what's wrong with the world. People don't take responsibility. Blah, 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 blah. And by now I'm talking back to the radio. Oh, yeah, I do that too. I'm a listener as well as a professional. I'm talking back to the radio and I'm saying to myself, what do you mean people don't take Yeah, how about you? Oh, this guy shouldn't have 3 kids. Blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. Tired of it. Just tired of it. You see, you'll do okay in life if I do okay in life. Life isn't very pleasant if one of us ain't doing okay. And so therefore, I like to do okay, and so it behooves me to see to it that you do okay. And it behooves you to see to it that I do okay. I believe the phrase that I've used in the past is, you cannot prosper unless I prosper. I cannot prosper unless you prosper. In essence, that's what I'll tell you. It's in essence what I'll tell you tonight, tomorrow night, and every night. Every miserable night that we're together. And the more often I say it, the angrier the audience will get.
News Radio 970 WFLA.
7:48 the time, in keeping with the cutting edge of technology, not with the cutting edge of decorating. This studio, by the way, is pink. This room is pink. I mean, all of it. No wonder the people that work at this radio station are homophobic. I'm telling you, I'm starting to feel a little bit uneasy myself. I expect to see a couch over in the corner and an attendant, asking me if I need, the things for that time of the month or something. Anyway, in keeping with the cutting edge of technology, and because we just love to hear from computer geeks, we are part of the information superhighway, and you can reach us at http://970wfla.com. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, then you don't stand a chance, okay, of reaching us unless you want to write a letter or something like that. So there. Anyway, like I was saying, people want to hear that somebody else, never themselves, is to blame, or somebody else is responsible, or somebody else has to fix whatever the hell it is. But, see, that's where I come in. And that's why I'm here. Yes, that's why I'm here. Because I have the unmitigated gall to suggest that you may indeed be the source of the problem, and that there really isn't any easy answer. I have a real knack for pointing out things like stupidity and inconsistency, and I truly enjoy doing it. Oh, God, how I enjoy doing it. On my better nights, I will make people so mad they will literally lose it. They will call and make fools of themselves. And they'll do it time and time and time again. They've been doing it for years. Same ones. But never forget, hey, it's just a radio show, okay? It's just a radio show. Nothing's going to change because of it. Nothing's supposed to change because of it. Nothing will improve. Nothing's supposed to improve. Nor will it get any worse either, by the way. Life will just go on. Sun's going to come up tomorrow morning. It's just a radio show. But you will probably become addicted to it. You will probably end up rearranging your life so that you can listen to it. I don't know why, but you will. I feel reasonably confident of that. Nobody does it better than me. In the nights ahead, you will hear hate. You will hear confusion, befuddlement. You will hear fear. You'll hear foolishness. Sweet little old grandmothers. Somebody's grandma, a woman who just a few hours before was out in the kitchen baking cookies and things like that, will no doubt be caught with venom dripping from her lips on this radio show. And remember, it's just a radio show. Blowhards will come forward. They always do. Only to get caught. And the night will come when I press your button. Oh, yes, it will. The night will come when I prod your sacred cow. Maybe tonight. Tomorrow night. Maybe the next. But that night will come. I'm not really a bad guy. You and I have a lot in common. A lot more than you'd probably like to admit. Probably the only real difference between us is that I just don't swallow anything. I don't swallow anything lock, stock, and barrel, and I'm not afraid of letting you know that. But remember, I'm not here to babysit the infirm. Nor am I here to just shove anything down your throat. I don't promote causes. I don't tell you who to vote for. Or anything else. I do a radio show. Okay? I do a radio show. I talk about the things that are on my mind, and sometimes I talk about the things that I think should be on yours. And nobody does it better. Just remember that. In the years since I left this radio station, the fashion has been to put on shows. Put shows on the air that are for some particular group. Shows that are aimed at some particular group, some particular mindset. Well, this show ain't for anybody. This show is not designed to counter what other shows have to say. This show is not to balance what any other show has to say. This show, by the way, is not a refuge for liberals nor for moderates. But if this show does have a purpose, and it does, it's to utterly piss off the so-called angry white male. The one who does nothing but complain and whine and point fingers of blame at everybody but, of course, himself. The bitch and moan, know-it-all kind of guy. You hear him all day long. Every place you go. He's not going to enjoy this show. He is not going to enjoy this show. The simple-minded, simple solution kind of guy. He's going to be awful unhappy. This show is intended to make his life miserable, and I state so up front. I enjoy doing that. It isn't really fair. It's frankly relatively easy. It's accomplished simply by saying when you get one of these turkeys on the other end of the phone, sir, could you back up what you're saying? Could you prove it? It's one of the things that sets this show apart from any other. This show has the audacity to ask that its callers prove or explain or back up, whatever it is that they're trying to say. And that kind of puts the angry white male at a disadvantage, doesn't it? I know it's not fair. But I just get such a kick out of doing it. You know, I don't have much else in my life. I'm old, infirm. Let me have that one, okay? Just get such a kick out of seeing them make fools of themselves. Let me see if I can give you some examples, okay? I'll tell you, Dark, they're the extreme left wing in this country. They're people who say there's an extreme left wing in this country are in for a bitter disappointment because they're going to be asked to name names. There's some guy in Poughkeepsie that publishes mimeograph news. No, there's no extreme left wing in this country. People who say that there's a movement to take away their guns. I'm telling you, man. There are gun grabbers out there. They're in for a bitter disappointment because they're going to be asked to be specific. Oh, well, there's some congressman who entered a bill once. Take away my gun. Does anybody support it? Well, no. Oh. People who say stupid things like, I'm going to tell you, man, criminals, they have too many rights. They're in for a bitter disappointment because they'll be asked to explain what rights criminals have. Cable television. Too many rights. These characters will be asked to pointedly back it up. And if they can't, if they're simply mouthing off, blowing a lot of hot air, blowing a lot of steam, that kind of stuff, then they will suffer the consequences. They will be mocked. They will be ridiculed. And they will be dismissed as the idiots and the morons that they are. It's something I do very well. And as I've already told you, I don't promote causes or anything else. That's all. I talk about the things that are on my mind, and sometimes I talk about the things that I think should be on yours, and nobody does it better. It will begin momentarily. Now that you know why I'm here, now that you know why I'm back, I'm already starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. Except for this horrible pink room. Something's got to be done about this, man. Something has got to be done about this. Who is the moron? I mean, I used to like to sit over at SUN and, tweak noses over here by calling this the house that Lassiter built. I now rescind that. I would not, under any circumstances, under any conditions, want anybody to think in any fashion that I had anything whatsoever. This is unbelievable. I'm serious. This room is pink. The walls are pink. There's this humongous table that probably about 10 people could sit around, and this console in front, and it's all pink. Why would anybody put together a talk station with a pink studio, for God's sake. In any event, it's just a radio show. It's just a radio show. Calm down. We're going to have a good time. Honest we are. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the telephone numbers. This is not going to be easy for me. It is not easy for me because, first of all, they have a list of phone numbers here like you wouldn't believe. If you are north of the Kmart on US 19 in Pinellas, the telephone number is 461 WFLA. However, if you're somewhere in Hillsborough County east of Dale Mabry, the telephone number is 990 WFLA. There is also a GTE MobileNet Star line. That would be 970 Star. That's for people who are headed toward, becoming full-blown computer geeks but haven't totally made it. And, of course, there is the Delaware Savings toll-free line. They will sell anything here at 1-800-969-WFLA. Maybe we could sell, some sponsor identification with the other numbers and change the color of this disgusting room. It's 7:59.
Live from Tampa, Florida, the nation's gizzard, it's the Magnificent Lassiter Show, starring the Magnificent Lassiter, featuring the nimble fingers of Flounder at the control board, and the world's most dangerous news guy, Paul Mann. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lassiter.
5.5 minutes after the hour being 8 o'clock. It is a Monday, April the 1st, 1996. So we got an hour under our belts, and it's it's a little weird, It's the same, it's all the same from the last time you heard my voice coming out at this particular frequency, 970. But it's a different building, it's a different studio, a different configuration. And, I'm still trying to figure out, where the hell the clock is and where the button is that I push and all that kind of good stuff. But enough of that. We'll get into that later. Got to get the studio redone. Got to get the studio. It's just beyond belief. Just beyond belief. So what the hell? Let me put my glasses on so we can see the screen and do something I haven't done for a long time and say, that's not where those buttons are. It'd do a lot better if I went over here and said, hi, Tampa, you're on the air at
hey, this
WFLA.
Is great. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, dude.
This is great. This is awesome. You haven't missed a beat.
Oh, you're kind.
Hey, I'm kind. I'm going to tell you what, you're kind. This is symbiotic, man. This is history, radio history for me, man. Being the first caller on your return.
I'm really looking forward to this. People had asked me in the past about working at night, and I had always answered the same way, and I had always said that I thought that for my style, for the way I like to work, which is basically long form, that nights were far, far superior, but the business had changed and changed dramatically, and there wasn't any money at night. These people have changed that. They are deadly serious here about returning talk radio to a position of strength in the evening. I frankly think they're crazy. If you really want to know the truth, but that's okay. I'll take their money.
Hey, I think you summed it up very well.
Of course, I did have to take a considerable cut. 17 cents a call now.
Well, yeah.
It's down from 44. But, we'll make up with shorter calls and more of them.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
You summed it up well with your soliloquy at the beginning. Monologue, more or less. The show, you know what I like, Bob? Your style is, it's a radio talk show that covers everything. There's nothing sacred. It doesn't have to be about this or that or anything particular. It can go on and on. You're a man for all reasons.
Yes, I am.
You are a man for all reasons. You are the Mad Dog Bites Again, weeknights on 970 WFLA. Bobby?
Yeah?
I'm gonna go because there's gonna be other people. I tell you what, you made my day. I mean, I'm happy. I'm a selfish son of a gun. I'm the first person to talk to you on your second coming.
God, something to tell the kids and the grandchildren
Second
about.
helpings. This is history.
Oh, dude, do you have a tree out in the backyard or something? And a sharp knife? You might want to go out there and whittle the date in.
I'm not going to get no sharp knives, but it's only appropriate you come back April 1st, April Fool's Day. The prodigal son returns.
Hey, thanks, man.
Peace.
Okay. Do I have to hit the off button to get rid of those? If I hit the... Oh, okay, that'll do the trick too. Won't put them on hold. Oh, okay, great. Let's do Charlotte and Brandon. Charlotte, hi, you're on the air at WFLA.
Hey, Lassiter.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, first time I listened to talk radio was because of you. I'm glad you're back.
Well, thank
you. Then you left, and then you're back again, and whatever. But I just wanted to say this.
That's a very Is it
a boring one?
Well, no, it's not boring. It's just a little wimpy, you know. It sounds like one of those American-made squeak toys as opposed to the more manly communist-made squeak toy. The commies, really have squeak toys down. We don't. There are things that we do better than anybody else in the world, and there's some things that we don't do so good, and unfortunately making squeak toys is one of them.
Hey, Donald Duck, what can I say?
Yeah, well.
But I'm glad you're back, and I'm really glad you're back.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you.
I'm glad I'm back, too. A lot of people are glad I'm back. People that hold my mortgage. People that lease my cars. Let's go to Brandon. Hi, Brandon. You're on the air at WFLA.
Bobby.
Hey, dude.
Glad to have you back, sir.
It's good to be back. It really is.
You just gave me an idea with that first caller.
Yeah?
I think I'm going to run up to my famous home hardware store, and I'm going to buy me a tree, and I'm going to plant it in my backyard, and I'm going to say, today is the day that Bobby come home.
Oh, God. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, and then when I leave, you can cut it down and count the rings. See how long that lasted.
Burn it in the fireplace if I get too mad.
Well, that's true. Yes, there are a lot of possibilities here.
Yeah.
Grind it up and use it for mulch.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just call to say welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
And keep up the good work.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll last longer this time.
Okay.
Hey, one more thing.
Yeah?
Lock and load.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
990 WFLA would be the telephone number in Hillsborough. In Pinellas, you got to forgive me. I give the phone numbers a lot to start with, but I've really got to burn these into my brain, okay? Pinellas 461 WFLA, the GTE MobileNet Starline 970 Star, and the Delaware Savings Till-Free line. Damn, there fills up an entire segment. 1-800-969-WFLA, South St. Petersburg, not to be confused with North St. Petersburg. Jenny, hi, you're on the air at WFLA.
Hi, Bobby, how are you?
Doing great, how are you?
I'm so glad you're back. I'm not ready to cry.
I'm glad I'm back, too.
Damn,
the last 4 months were not pleasant for me. They were not pleasant at all.
They weren't pleasant for me because I went to England thinking you were okay. I was going to come back and hear your voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard you talk about a certain a colleague that you had always liked, but he was ill, blah-de-blah, and then you went on to something else during your monologue at the other station, and I thought, there's something going on here. But
who are you talking about?
You.
No, who's the certain colleague?
Neil Rogers.
Oh, okay,
you
yeah.
had lost a good friendship.
Yeah.
And I went to Britain, and then Judith Ann on BBC 4 on December 22nd, she's on from 1 to 4.
Yeah.
She's out of WLS, now she's doing radio over there.
Oh, really?
I heard that Bob Lassiter lost his position over in Florida, and if anybody wants to hire him on the BBC, come and get him.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
So my fame has spread to England?
Yeah, because I'm going to go back over in July, yeah. You never knew my name, but I always called and sang your songs and stuff, but I feel like crying. I can't believe you're back, and I can get off my lithium now.
Me too.
But the thing is that the weirdest thing is that my dad, who is 86 and loves birds, never saw any birds of color down in Longboat, and we haven't either, and we have bird feeders, everything. but I saw an oriole close enough to Philly. Brightest yellow breast, biggest bird I ever saw in my tree with a whole bunch, probably flying north, going home. And I thought, And then when Brain, who I liked and had to call into, you weren't there, was saying he's coming back, but he's not coming back. Oh, I got to kill him. Anyway, I thought he's going to come back. But now I'm a pretty happy person. Now I got to figure out how could I be unhappy and get you really mad at me and yell at me. Anyway, I hope Mary's well, and I hope you're well, and I hope everything's going great, and I hope the birds come back.
Well, as soon as I get the computer back to, in one piece.
Damn, I missed you.
Missed you too.
Oh, I did.
Well, I did too.
Thank God you're back.
Okay.
See ya.
You too.
Bye.
14 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. Let's do, see, this is really, it's in a very awkward, I can't see both the screen and the board, which has these tiny, itsy bitsy, teeny wee little buttons on them. I guess most of the people that work here are very delicate and are not, manly sized men. So they put in this phone system that has these itsy bitsy, teeny wee little miniature buttons on it. I don't want to mention any names. Let's do Largo. Hi, Largo. You're on the air at News Radio 970 WFLA.
King Lassiter, we are not worthy.
No, you're not, but what the hell? I need the money anyway, so.
A real important question that has been burning into my brain.
Ask anything you want.
How did her turkey turn out?
Oh, Sherry's turkey?
How did it turn out?
She said fantastic.
The last time I heard, she was floating it in a bathtub.
Yes, but she said it really came out well, because that's, we've only talked a couple of times since the demise of SUN, but that's literally the first thing I asked her too. Is how did the turkey come out?
She was almost in tears at the end of the show. She really was. You realize that Sharon and Jeffy are both listening.
Oh, it's a possibility.
It is a very strong possibility, and I would love to say, Jeffy, Sharon, we miss you. Let me ask you a question, Bob.
Sure.
I'm sure both of them have sent you flowers.
Well, no, actually, but I did receive flowers today. I came in here, and it's one of the cheapest stunts and ploys I have ever seen in my entire life to keep me from talking bad. I received flowers from WSUN.
Really?
Yes. Thinking that, somehow that would keep me from, keep me from saying unpleasant things about them.
Can I make those sisters cry for a minute?
Sure.
If I ever see them on their buying trip in, let's say, Paris, God help them if I meet them on the Eiffel Tower. God help them.
It wasn't the sisters.
The misery.
The sisters loved the show.
The misery that Tampa Bay has gone through in the last 4 months.
No, let's be honest about what happened over there, and that is that they put together a radio station that simply was unsellable in terms of client support. It was a very, very bizarre radio station that had several unique. One of the important things that you want to do at a radio station is called audience flow. In talk radio, every host has his fans, and every host has his detractors. Most people fall in someplace in between, and you want that audience to follow right along throughout the day parts. Mm-hmm. Well, at SUN, the shows were so different that we had no audience flow whatsoever.
That is true.
And on top of that, some of the shows were, shall we say, to be as charitable as we know how to be, so on the cutting edge as to be untouchable for a lot of potential clients and sponsors. It was not a cheap radio station to run. They were very generous with me. And in addition to that, there were other people involved in my show that had to be paid. They pay a lot of money for the Ron and Ron show in the morning. And it just didn't make any sense. Now, my contract came up, well, technically at February the 1st, but they had to inform me on or before December the 1st as to whether or not they were going to renew. And for whatever reason, they didn't have enough faith or confidence in me to allow me to stay on the air after they told me that they weren't going to renew, which I had, kind of figured out a year before anyway. That's beside the point. And so since they had to blow me out, they decided to blow everybody out.
You did warn us, though.
Oh, yeah.
You did, and I remember it. I did not
Several
take
times.
it seriously. I did not take it seriously. I didn't. So...
Well, I had a lot of fun there for 3 years. I've got to be honest about that. It was a personal delight, a professional disaster. An absolute professional disaster. But a personal delight. I had a hell of a lot of fun, and I don't really have any regrets. There were some things that were done afterwards, literally after the fact, that I was not happy about. I will never be happy about. But there's really no sense in rehashing it or going into it. None of it affects you, and such is life.
Hey, we've got you back.
That's right, dude.
Do we have rock comedy back?
No.
We can't get it?
No.
So no more Dingo Boy?
No more Dingo Boy, no.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, but we did salvage one thing.
What is that? And one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm the first one that's going to be able to say this. Frog.
57. See? 990 WFLA in Hillsborough, 461 WFLA in Pinellas. The GTE. Maybe I should give out their damn phone numbers. Those poor lonely people doing the sports shows over there probably need the calls desperately.
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
23 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. So I made my first appearance in this building. I believe it was a week ago last Thursday, which is the first time I ever set foot in this building. I'll tell you a little bit about the last 4 months. But anyway, that was the first time I had ever set foot in this building. And I came over to meet, I'll get into that. I came over to meet some people. And it was nice. I know a lot of people that work in this building. I worked with them the last time I was here, and a lot of them are still here. And I got a very warm reception, and it was really nice. And anyway, the point I'm trying to get to, and you can throw that back up because it's really where I'm going. You can put that back up on the screen. We were sitting around talking, and one of the sales managers, oh, Jesus, I thought the other place had a lot of sales managers. Oh, Jesus, God almighty. One of the sales managers said something about, I just sold such and such an account, and I've got to write the copy for it, for the commercials. And when I worked here before, we had what is known in the industry as a continuity writer, i.e. the person that writes the commercials. And so I said, don't we have a continuity writer? Don't we have a writer anymore? And they said, oh, no. Let me prove that to you. If heaven has a radio, you can bet that God is listening to his other son, Brian Holyman James, weekdays at 4 on News Radio 970 WFLA. Just briefly, the last 4 months. They were not pleasant months for a lot of reasons. The first month, I was very, very deeply depressed. Very, very, very deeply depressed. I am a creature of habit. I do not like change. And while there were things that I liked about SUN, there were a lot of things I didn't like about SUN. But, I don't like the change, And I was very deeply depressed, even though I had known for a year that was the likely outcome and that was the likely time frame. And then there was something else, too, and that is, I heard from FLA literally the day that I got blown out. There was a series of phone calls back and forth, not from people in decision-making positions, but people asking if I would consider talking with people in You see, the whole point was, I wasn't going to ask them for a gig. I'll be damned if I was going to let them say, are you crazy? We'd bring back Freddie Mertz before we'd have you. We'd have Freddie Mertz's brother before we... we'd have anybody. They weren't going to get that chance. And they were afraid to ask me because they didn't want me to say, what are you, crazy? What, over there with Opie Dopey and the guy named after the defunct beer and Freakus? No way! And so that was a little bit frustrating. Feeling each other out, trying to determine whether or not some type of arrangement might be possible. And so that finally got worked out. And then for the last month, I have run into computer problems, the likes of which you cannot imagine, that have kept me up for 20 hours a day. I mean, every time I get the damn thing put back together, there's another disaster. And, I start from scratch, and I bought it. Oh, God. So I haven't enjoyed any of the last 4 months. Not one day of it. But that's where that is. I forgot where the hell we were. You don't have times on here. We'll pick up... Oh, they're the times over there. Oh, I see. Oh, that's cool. I thought they were the line numbers. Oh. Yeah, well, it's a little different here. Let's do Temple Terrace. Hi, Temple Terrace. You're on the air at News Radio 970 WFLA.
Mega Blobster Dittos, Bobby.
Hey, Mega Blobster's back to you, dude.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. It's a little weird, but I'm starting to feel more comfortable and starting to get back into it.
Well, who knew? First of all, let me commend FLA for having the guts, I guess, to have
the brilliance, sir, the brilliance,
and also for promoting the hell out of your coming debut tonight.
Well, I mean, short of billboards and print ads, television,
the choir, but they did
sandwich board or something like that. No, they really did. I was very pleased with the amount of.
Yeah, I was I don't know if it's the word surprised, but I'm impressed anyway. But anyway, there we were over at the other station, and boom, Friday, and then we come back Monday. Everybody's.
It wasn't even Friday; it was a Wednesday because. Actually, it was a tape show on Friday, I guess, as far as you were concerned, because it was the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask how Sharon's turkey was, but that's been done already, so we've covered that already. But you said you've never been in this FLA building. Didn't you do the Christmas show from there?
No, it was on tape. That was a show from 1988.
Now,
Christmas night. I couldn't. My contract said that I would not allow or permit my voice to be broadcast. So, which is pretty broad language. So there was no way that I could do it. They just happened to have a copy of the Christmas show. They owned it and could do whatever the hell they wanted with it. But no, I was silenced for 4 months.
Could they have done that even if you were still at SUN?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, SUN can run my whole Christmas shows from there if they want to. I doubt that they will.
Yeah, I didn't hear the Christmas show, but I knew that it was coming up, but I had to work. So
any words that fall out of my mouth, any words that fall out of your mouth that are broadcast on the air at this radio station, they own the rights to.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, we're really glad you're back. Now, you knew for a while that probably was going to happen. You were going to get along. Did Sharon and all those guys know the same?
Well, I would warn them. In October, I went. In early October, I went to them and I said, look, I'm a big boy. You're a big boy. I understand the economics. I understand the numbers game that we're playing here. If we're going to renew, great. If we're not, at least allow me to talk to other people, because I wasn't even allowed to look for work. They would never give me an answer, which really hurt me and bothers me to this day that they wouldn't answer me. And then the last few weeks that I was there, they literally avoided me. Literally. Which, again, surprises me. Because they were very nice people to work for otherwise.
Well, that's the ruthless radio business, I guess.
That's the ruthless radio business.
But was it your idea to bring Sharon on your show?
Yes, it was.
And did you warn her, at that time? I said, look, you're going to lose your news gig, to take this radio gig, but,
No, her contract, even when she was doing news, was set up in such a fashion that it terminated at the exact same time mine did. Poor Fingers in there is going berserk. He's insistent that I take a break.
All right, Bobby.
Hey, dude.
I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad, too.
See you.
WFLA sucks.
Well, it's bound to happen. I have already made my first enemies.
I mean, hey, come on, look. I'm not as young as I used to be. I don't see very well. I'm in a pink room, and
I have deeply insulted the only person, frankly, the only person at the radio station that a talk show host should not have a run-in with. And on my first night, I haven't even finished 2 hours on the air. I have misidentified, for all of those of you at home, if you would please get paper and pencil, because I know that you're going to want to keep track of this. I have, you see, they have some kind of a thing here, and I don't believe this to be a coincidence. I think it is some type of a contrivance where all of the board operators have nicknames. See, when I lived in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they couldn't sell baseball tickets for love nor money. They were really a bad team. And so they came up with this idea of giving all the players nicknames. And the nicknames were ridiculous. They had this really wimpy looking shortstop. I mean, frankly, he looked like he was gay. And his nickname was I don't know, Rusty Nails or something like that. And it just did not fit. And they would interview him on the pre-game shows or something like that, and it was Rusty, Nails, how's the team going to do today? Well, I really, if Jablonski, stays healthy and we get a couple of breaks, I think. Well, anyway, they apparently have done, in essence, the same thing here and come up with these contrived nicknames for the various different board operators as though you give a crap at home. And I have misnamed the gentleman sitting behind the actual console, who is not my Jeffy, who is not my Michael. Do you know how many board operators I've gone through? I mean, it's hardly worth memorizing the board operator's name. It's a high turnover position. Well, anyway, I called Flounder Fingers. Now, Fingers is in the room, but not technically at the board. And so I have to quickly point that out. Let's go to Seminole. Hi, Seminole. You're on the air at 970 WFLA. Hi.
Boy, I've missed you.
Well, I've missed you, too.
Been sitting in this sweat box I call a house, eating potato salad and Polish ham, waiting for you to get back on the air.
That's a bunch of crap, sir. It has been frigid all winter. It's not a sweat box.
Oh, it is.
This has been the worst, this winter has been horrendous.
Not my house, Bob.
God-awful.
I've got 30 space heaters in my room. 30 of them, and they're all on high. I'm sweating. Guess what, Bob?
What?
I'm going to get you. I've already gotten Sharon. I've already gotten Jeffy. You're next. Why'd you have to go and switch stations on me, Bob? I'm going to get you.
It's not like you see, I came home. I switched stations when I went to SUN.
Every Christ has its Judas, Bob. I'm yours. I'm going to get you. When All Saints Day comes around, your pumpkin's going down! He
doesn't really sound to me like the type of individual who is really capable of stealing pumpkins. Let's go to Dwayne in Tampa. Hi, Dwayne. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Man.
Hey, dude.
This is even new for us, too.
Yeah.
In the evening. Of course, ain't never nothing on TV anyway.
Well, I did nights in this market for a little over a year. At PLP, very successfully.
I'm a young guy. I discovered you over there, and
well, you're right. It was a very long time ago, and there's nothing that I enjoy more than hearing, things like I was too young to have listened to you back then, or when I was a young child, my father used to make me listen to you.
What happened to Sharon?
What happened to Sharon?
Yeah.
Sharon is an assignment, or the assignment editor, I guess, at Channel 44.
Oh, back in the television.
Yeah, she's back in television.
Great. And how about the bunny bear?
The bunny bear's doing fine, thank you. If the gypsies don't get him.
Yeah. We missed him on Christmas.
Okay.
You know how many times we hear And every holiday, SUN would play your Christmas special till we almost knew it by heart. And then we sat here and actually missed it.
Aww.
Welcome back, Bob.
Hey, thanks, dude. Welcome back to you, too. Let us do Tampa. Hi, Tampa. You're on the air at WFLA.
Hi.
Hi.
Bob,
yeah.
I was a cult listener to you when you were on the other station.
Mm-hmm.
And when you went off, I went crazy. I just was so depressed. And it was right after about Thanksgiving and about the turkey and everything. I was going crazy. And when I heard you were coming back here, I told my friends and my family. Of course, they thought I was crazy. Well, you know, who is he and all this and that. I went nuts. And I have never called into a radio station. I am so glad you're back.
Well, I'm really glad to be back, too. This is, you know, in all honesty, I didn't apply any place. I didn't, I had one inquiry, actually it was from another J-Corps station. I had one inquiry, from Cincinnati. This is the only radio station I wanted to work at because I didn't want to move. And, you know, obviously, this is the only game in town.
I kept turning stations, listening. I know he's going to come. I know he's going to come back somewhere. He's going to come back somewhere. And I kept turning and turning and turning after Thanksgiving, and you're back, and thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Hey, anytime.
Bye.
Okay. Let's do Palm Harbor. Adrian. Hi, Palm. You're on the air at WFLA.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, dude.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that there's going to be no Dingo Boy, but that's okay, I guess.
Well, come on. Let's. I was getting a little tired of Dingo Boy.
I come home every day and tell my son about Dingo Boy, and he still has yet to hear one.
Oh.
I wish I would have taped him.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I think they're still making episodes. SUN owns them, and they're just sitting on them, and will.
That's a shame. Hey, I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you want to get serious tonight, but
sure.
I wanted to ask you what you thought about Steve Forbes and his flat tax.
One of the greater shams ever pulled on the American people. I mean, you are aware of the fact that there already is a flat tax, aren't you?
Well, it's not so much it's a flat tax, but it's on a varying scale.
Well, no. I mean, here's the situation. Let's say that you earn $30,000 a year, and you have a wife and 2 children. Okay, right. Your tax rate is the exact same to the penny tax rate that Donald Trump pays, who also has a wife and 2 children, on his first $30,000 of income.
Yeah, on his first $30,000, but beyond that.
His tax rate is the exact same as the family earning $50,000. The theoretical top tax rate in this country is 39.6%. There is not one soul in this country who pays 39.6%. Not one soul. It's impossible. It literally cannot be done. And you know what the flat taxers, the people like Forbes and the really wealthy people, are trying to slip past you. What you don't realize is that you pay the exact same amount of tax already that they pay. But under a flat tax, they will pay virtually, or in some cases literally, nothing, and you are still going to end up paying the same.
Yeah. I agree with you there to a point.
It's a real bad deal.
Yeah, but it just seems like there's too many little loopholes and things that people like me that make a modest living aren't able to take advantage of. Like a richer or someone that's making a lot better income.
Well, that's true.
The tax system that doesn't.
The tax code stinks, man. The tax code in this country is horrendous. But the answer is not basically leaving you in the same position you were in before and removing, for all practical purposes, the ultra wealthy. I mean, we're not talking about the $200,000 and $300,000 and $400,000 a year people. The people who really lust and dream for the flat tax are the people making millions upon millions or tens of millions of dollars a year, because the way that the flat tax is envisioned by people like Forbes, there are several different plans out there floating around, but the way that flat tax is envisioned by people like Forbes is they would have, for all practical purposes, zero liability, while your liability is in essence going to be the same.
Yeah. Well, what about something like a national sales tax type?
If it was on everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think it would be fair if it was on your shoes. I think it would be fair if it was on your car. I also think it would be fair if it was on your stock. Because again, the ultra wealthy spend a very, very small percentage of their income on living. Most of the income of the ultra wealthy, it would be on, for the want of a better term, we'll call it investment. It's really speculation. And I don't see why speculation should be exempt from a sales tax. I don't see why your prescription is taxable, but their speculation in IBM stock is not.
Yeah.
So if we can work it out that way, hey, great.
Yeah.
I'd love it. Okay?
Yep. Okay, appreciate it. Good to have you back.
I appreciate you, dude.
All right, bye-bye.
It's 8:43. 8:45 the time. God, did I pick up some great dirt. They had a promotion here several months back where they sent fingers out with a bucket. Flounder. They sent Flounder out with a bucket to collect money for the Buccaneers, who, by the way, the latest on the Bucs tomorrow morning with, Slack and Dread, 5 till 9 on 970 WFLA. And he collected $36, and nobody can account for the $36. And God, can you imagine if Malcolm only found out about that? So perhaps that's what the big scoop is tomorrow morning with Harrison Webb. Could be. Stranger things have happened. Let's do St. Petersburg. Hi, St. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Your Majesty.
Hey, dude.
God save the king.
God saved him.
Man, Taste of Cake guy here. How you been?
I'm doing great, man.
God, I've missed you. Unbelievable. Don't know where to start.
Well, you could have come over to the house,
Well, I figured.
You know what really freaked me out were the number of people, and it was a significant number, who took the time and trouble to somehow look up my address and sent me Christmas cards.
Oh my God!
So you see, you could have stopped by the house.
Came by. Well, I know how you like to be a private man afterwards, and
I didn't say we'd let you in.
That's true. Yeah. Well, for the $1,500, if I remember right, wasn't
it? It was $2,500.
$2,500. That's true. And of course, you're not getting as much at.
No, you're right. It was $1,500 to come into the garage. It was $2,500 if you wanted the tour of the house. Right. Yeah. You're right. I'm wrong.
I thought so. That's the first time you've ever told me that. I'm honored, sir.
Well, come on. You're right. It was. We were going to set up tables in the garage. And you could, for $1,500, come there and, have some punch and some biscuits or something. But if you wanted inside the house, it was $2,500.
Much more. And how is the dear Mary?
She's doing great.
Great.
Doing great.
You drove her crazy all the time off?
Well, she has a gig, and I saw her as much as no more, no less.
We still studying the stars and all, too?
Oh, yeah.
Good. How about the comet, huh?
Do you know I haven't seen it yet?
No?
No, the skies have been horrible.
Yeah. Last week it wasn't bad. This week coming up where they said it was going to be the best was, nothing.
Well, it was literally nothing at my house because every night there were either heavy clouds or relatively thin clouds, but thin enough to obscure the comet. Yeah. But we get another shot in April.
Oh,
really? It is April.
Good.
Ooh.
Very good. Good. Well, just welcome back, Bob. It's a pleasure. And I got a package coming for you probably middle part of May. So.
Hey, sounds great.
And I'm also sitting here eating my last of my lemon tasty cakes and a cup of coffee listening to you.
Yeah, good for nothing. I hope you... I hope the milk that you go to wash it down with is curdled.
Ooh.
And you have to wash it down with water. Or better still, root beer.
Root beer would be good. Some good birch beer, huh?
Root beer and a lemon tasty pie?
Sure.
You're sick, dude.
I mean the good stuff from up there, the birch beer that you can't get here.
Well, it has its place. I like root beer. I like birch beer, but not with a lemon. Cold milk, man.
Cold milk, yeah. Okay, you got me there. You got me there. Robert, have a good night, sir.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Let's do Bob in St. Petersburg. Hi there, Robert. You're on the air at WFLA.
Good afternoon, Mad Dog.
Well, good afternoon to you.
First of all, wait a minute. I am on my knees. Welcome back, Mad Dog.
Thank you, dude.
Welcome back.
It is good to be back.
No, it is good for us to have you back.
Well, that's true. It's better for you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I was on US 19, and Bob, you wouldn't have believed it. 7 o'clock, traffic stopped, and a collective standing ovation. I have never seen such a thing. You would have thought the Bucks had left town. It was fantastic.
Well, that's, frankly, that's what I would have expected.
But no.
I would have been very disappointed.
Yes.
Oh, wait a second. They went and changed board operators on me.
Oh.
Who the hell are you? Your fingers.
Not Jeffy?
No, I don't know where Jeffy is.
Oh, Jeffy. Anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Mad Dog. The most magnificent one.
Why I do know where Jeffy is. I'm going to tell it like it is, dude. Jeffy is a turncoat.
No.
Jeffy has become obsessed with sports. He loves sports. And so he sits there and runs the shows over there, listening to those horrible, how's the team going to do this year? Well, if Jablonski stays healthy and we get a few breaks. Hour after hour, day after day. That's what happened to my Jeffy.
Get the puck out of here.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Anyway, I was listening AM Tampa Bay this morning.
Yeah.
And I heard with Jack and Ted, your interview. And I thought for a minute when they were saying that it was that guy doing the voice.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I thought for just a second, Mad Dog, forgive me for doubting. Forgive me for doubting.
That deep, raspy voice first thing in the morning when I've only been up for a couple of hours and only had 4 or 5 cups of coffee and 3/4 of a package of cigarettes.
I was going to say 4 cigarettes, but okay. But it was so nice.
Do you know what? Let me tell you a little story. I told you I had horrible, and I'm serious, I've had horrible computer problems, and I've been working day and night. And I knew I had this thing to do Monday morning on AM Tampa Bay with Ted and Jack. And I lost track of my days. I got up Sunday morning at 5 o'clock after having been up till 1:30 working on my computer. I got up at 5 o'clock. I go waddling out front to get the newspaper. I put the trash out. My trash is picked up on Monday. I'm convinced it's Monday. I pick up the newspaper. It's incredibly thick and heavy, and I'm thinking to myself, my God, for a Monday newspaper. I open it up, and it says Sunday, and I literally cursed my newspaper deliverer. Said, no wonder he delivers newspapers for a living. This moron sent me yesterday's newspaper. Took me another 10 minutes to catch on that I had lost a day. I was not that far away from taking a shower and coming over here Sunday morning to appear on Monday morning show.
You would have been by yourself.
Yes, I would have.
Oh, no. Well, it is most certainly a pleasure to have you back.
It's pleasurable to be.
And for the last 2 weeks, I thought it was a cruel April Fool's joke that they were playing.
Well, you'll have to see what happens tomorrow. It might be.
This is true. I want you to know I went to the Virgin Islands in January.
Oh, okay.
And I remember how you were saying how you would work down there.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, I took...
Bluebeard's Castle Hotel.
I'm sorry?
My station was at Bluebeard's Castle Hotel.
We saw that while we were in St. Thomas. And, I was thinking of you the whole trip down there. And as a matter of fact, it's the trip I won on FLA last year on their Valentine's Day promotion.
All right.
So I was thinking about you the whole trip down there and saying, God, Lassiter was here.
Glad you had a good one, dude.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I got to get out of here.
Okay, welcome back. Go to the news, and we'll catch you much later.
Okay. Well, see, that's the whole problem. I got to go to this before we can go to the news. Otherwise, I'm really in trouble. Hey, look, kid, I'm not trying to demean the profession or anything like that, but it's honest work. I agree with you, but it's basically anonymous work. Just let me call you Jeffy, okay? And that wasn't his name either. His name was Howard, but I couldn't remember his. So no, miserable little. Oh, can it be? Rosemary in Carrollwood. Rosemary, my darling.
Lassiter, how the hell are you?
I thought you never listened to the show, Rosemary.
God, I'm telling you. Well, I couldn't help it. You know, I always listen to this station. I never, you know,
Well, except when you used to listen to me on the other station and call.
Listen.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I've been okay, Rosemary.
I've had so many people ask me to say, Rosie, where the hell is Lassiter? I said, I don't
Well, you're
know.
not spreading some kind of rumors, are you, about, you know, some type of an affair or something? Why would people ask you?
Lots of people are asking me. I swear to God, all these people, even the handyman, he says, Rosie, where the hell is Lassiter? I said, I don't know where.
Did any of the space aliens ask where I was?
Oh God, you know what? I got into that the other night. I'm telling you, I got taken out of the bed again. You know, that's an omen right there. That is an omen right there. Anyway, I want to ask you something.
Yeah, what's that, Rosie?
Are you going to be doing the turnstile?
Yeah.
You are? Oh God. Anyway, listen, I had the doctors tonight just before I left work.
Yeah.
We're listening to you do like the trailer park. You know?
They were listening to me at the trailer
Yeah,
park.
doing the trailer park. You know Rocky talking to you? Remember when Rocky?
Oh, Mr. Airstream, yeah.
Mr. Airstream.
That was 9 years ago tonight that call came in.
I remember the first time that was done. That was done on PLP.
What do you mean? Well, I thought you didn't listen to any other station but FLA, so how could you have heard that on PLP? And on top of that, you never listened to me when I was on PLP.
I was turning the station. I happened to hear.
Oh, is that how that
A hell
happened?
of a time ago, because that's Muffy used to work there too.
Yes.
Yeah. How is she doing?
She's doing fine.
Oh, great. Well, you know what? I had to call. Are you going to be doing the boat? Are you going to be going out on the boat?
No, I'm not going out on any boats.
You're not going out
No,
on
I
the
don't do
boat,
boats.
Lassiter?
No.
Well, I'll tell you, it's good to hear from you. And I voted for my next president, Pat Buchanan. I've already voted for him.
You have already voted for...
I did my vote here a couple of weeks ago, and I got a great big sign on my refrigerator, and I've got his thing to put outside in the garden.
A big sign on your refrigerator and a thing to put out in the garden.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. What kind of thing are you going to be putting in your garden?
For Pat Buchanan for president.
Oh, that's great.
The greatest American ever known, the best in the world, the greatest, next to President Reagan. God bless him.
God bless him.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for checking in, Rosemary. I'm glad that you just happened to be running down the dial tonight and realized that I was here.
Okay, Lassiter.
Bye, honey.
Take care, darling.
Okay. Don't let the space aliens take you. 6 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock, third final hour for a Monday, April the 1st, 1996. I, of course, am the magnificent Lassiter, and without any further ado, I'll pump the phone numbers once. That'll take us to the bottom of the hour. Then take another call, get the phone numbers again, and then what the hell? I'm out of here. Hillsboro 990 WFLA, Pinellas 461 WFLA, the GTE MobileNet Star line. God almighty, this goes on forever. 970 Star, and of course the Delaware Savings toll free. I see somebody really blew it here. Somebody else used to sponsor the toll-free line. I don't even know who the hell it was. Doesn't make any difference to me. And they went out and got one of these little engraved plaques that they, absolutely affixed to the console so it will never, ever, ever come up. So then whoever was sponsoring that line before, either ran out of money or I don't know what the hell happened to them. And they sold it to somebody else. So now there's a piece of, like masking tape over here. The fifth one? If I peeled them off, I'd find out who really initially. Oh, my God. Let's, this could be. Lloyd in Tampa. Lloyd, hi, you're on the air at WFLA.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes, Lloyd.
Earlier you were talking about how people would...
Yes, Lloyd, I'm old and somewhat infirm, but I can remember what I had said an hour or two ago.
I knew that you remembered that.
Then why'd you ask me if I remembered?
Well, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry I did that.
That's the sorriest hour I've had all night.
Okay.
Yes.
But I rearranged my life to listen to you when you were on Plop. I discovered you there. I followed you through there. Followed you through WFLA till you went to Chicago.
Yeah.
I did many things to rearrange my life to listen to you. And when you came back to WSUN, I was very happy. I listened to you for several weeks there. Then, Bob, I had to give you up. I don't enjoy listening to people talk about paintings. The lady in Oldsmar with her paintings, I'm sure she's a nice lady, but I don't enjoy that.
The lady in Oldsmar with her paintings?
Yeah. I just don't enjoy that kind of thing. And then all these people that have called this evening, all those people, I'm surprised that she hasn't called. But the lady from that went to Paris and all this stuff, you know, I don't enjoy that, Bobby. It's a bummer.
Well, Lloyd, I disappeared in the middle of the night 4 months ago. I've been gone for 4 months, and you know I've been in this town for a long, long time, and there are people who, you know, kind of like missed me, and you know wanted to say hello. There's not a hell of a lot else I can do on a first night back at the radio station except basically talk to those people.
I appreciate that, Bobby. I really do appreciate that.
I mean, I spent an hour telling you what the show's going to be.
Yes, you did. And I was very disappointed when all these people called up and it has started the way it has. So the question I have is it going to continue like this?
Yes, Lloyd.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah. It's a new format in talk radio. The only kind of calls I'm going to take for as long as I'm here are people calling up to tell me how glad they are that I'm back. That's what the entire show is. It's a new format. It's called Happy Talk.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God, Bobby.
See, there's been too much adversity on the air.
Well, this is a terrible thing. This is adversity
liberal, conservative, Republic, the screaming and the shut. No, we want happiness here. All we want are people who are happy to hear you.
Oh, this happiness is adversity. This is a terrible thing. This cannot go on. I can't handle this, Bobby. I gave you a few weeks at SUN, and people would not believe that I would not listen to you. Well, it was probably more than a few weeks because, you know, it was about 3 years into it before we got to the turkey. Yeah.
Yeah, you were listening all the time, Lloyd.
Oh.
Yeah, the turkey thing.
No, I didn't. I didn't catch you until later when you were here, and I was in a service station up in Tampa Palms, and I'm walking there, and I hear this radio, and I says, who is that, Lassiter? And they said, yeah, he's back. I went crazy, but people wouldn't believe when I told them that I would not listen anymore. But the day I stopped listening was the lady from Oldsmar with her painting, and she called in, and the birds, and I just says, you know...
Birds are important, Lloyd.
Well, I understand they're important.
I think you might want to consider watching the birds, putting out a feeder in the backyard.
I love watching birds. It's just not interesting talking about birds. I want to talk about something other than birds.
Birds are very important.
Yes, they're extremely important. Birds help
reforest the planet. As one example, as to one of the things that birds do, and I don't think that birds get enough recognition for that. We wouldn't have trees. I mean, your house would be made out of cinder. Well, most of the houses down here are made out of cinder blocks, aren't? Your house the wallboard would be made out of formica.
Oh my God!
If it wasn't for birds.
Oh, polyester.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Okay. Let's give birds their due.
Well, Bobby, I was so thrilled this evening. I will tell you this. You know, you're. I don't have to tell you this. You know that you're a pretty clever individual, and you can look into someone's mind when they're talking to you. But you got to remember this, Bobby. When someone sits out here and listens to you all the time, they pretty well know what you're doing. I told my son this evening. I says the first thing that's going to happen is going to be the Airstream. I was right.
Well, it was 9 years ago tonight.
Yes. Yes, I remember that. I remember you playing it. I don't think I heard it when it originated. Was that on Plop?
Yeah.
Well, I may have, because I discovered you on Plop and followed you religiously. And I hope to do this. I'm going to give you a little bit of time here.
Okay.
And but you got to work it out.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay, Lloyd.
All right.
Thanks, Dick. Wow. God. 990-WFLA in Hillsborough, 461-WFLA in Pinellas. Let's do Tampa. Hi, Tampa. You're on the air at WFLA. Hello, Tampa. Tampa, hello. Hello, Tampa.
This is South Pasadena.
That's what I thought.
Bob, how's Sharon doing? But enough about that anyway.
Why the hell don't you call Sharon? What are you calling me for? To find out how Sharon's doing? You don't care about me.
Well, I care about you because
on top of that, she didn't even like you.
Well, Larson still insists.
You should have seen the faces she would make when I would put your calls on the air.
Oh, I know the faces.
She would beg and plead with me.
Because I'm a chronic caller and I know how to control.
She hated you.
I know she hated me, and I loved every minute of it.
Here's this gentle, sweet woman who goes through life going, tra-la-la, tra-la-la, life is grand, life is good. But you, the sound of your voice would bring out this demon that was deeply embedded in her soul.
I got her.
Yeah, you got
her big time. Listen, Larson still insists that he tried to pay the bill when you met him at Bennigan's.
Crack.
And I'm saying the little SOB was like full of crap.
Well, first of all, I invited him out.
Yeah,
the bill came.
You know it.
The bill came, and I just, reached over. It's not like it was some type of a contest to get it. And by the same token, nor did he protest. He might have said something about, are you sure? We're talking, it was like a $17 bill or something. It might have even been $14. It wasn't that much money, and I invited him.
He's so cheap, man.
Yes, he is.
Unbelievable. Listen, on Black Wednesday, which I'll refer it to, when you closed out the show, you said to everybody, be good.
Yeah, well, I always do.
No, you didn't always say be good, and I took it as, for some reason, there was something funky about that, like you weren't going to be around anymore. And
I was expecting it the following Friday, the 30th of November is when I thought they would do it.
Well, you had
the last possible day.
I think the gist of the show was about Thanksgiving dinner and who you would like and not like to have dinner with you on Thanksgiving. You were talking something about that, and I was on hold, and Jeffy picked up and said, no more time and all that, but no problem. But I just like to go over that a little bit. I basically wouldn't want anybody at Thanksgiving dinner that ate all my food or belched and passed gas a lot. I don't think you would either, would you, at Thanksgiving dinner?
Where are we going with this, Chase?
I basically wouldn't want Martha Stewart at my dinner.
Oh, what a tragedy. Something seems to have happened with that line. Perhaps you might want to call the phone company's repair service. Maybe they can work on it before the next show. Oh, it's a shame. Let's go to Tampa. Hi, Tampa. You're on the air at WFLA.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, dude. How you doing?
Great to have you back, man.
Oh, thank you.
Life is good.
Life is good. Life is good.
I just remembering the Christmas Day when I called the SUN. I said, at least you should have the decency to play the Christmas show.
Yeah.
And after I said that, he said, "Are you done?" And I said, "Yeah." Hung up on me. But
the Christmas show was a bone of great contention. I had requested permission to do that show on any other station, and was ignored. Yeah. And so I fired off a very unpleasant fax, which precipitated a call not from the individual who had the permission to give me the right to do the Christmas show, but from his underling. It was a real touchy sore point.
But anyways, I know life is good, and it is great. I mean, it's really good to have you back. I was orgasmic when I heard that you was coming back.
Oh, I can understand that.
I mean, last week when I first heard, you can't imagine what it's like for a guy lowlife like me to listen to you, man. You are the greatest, and I should say, life is good, and frog.
Thank you, dude. Thank you much. Let's see here. I got to pay more attention to my times here. Let's go to Ken in Tampa. Hi, Ken in Tampa. You're on the air at WFLA.
Hey there, Bob.
Hi, man.
Mad Dog. I can't believe you got a call from Rosemary already.
Yeah, the lady that never listens to the show. It's just astonishing how often she must spend her entire life running up and down the dial because she always finds me, you know?
I know it. And you know, she's going to be calling all the time. You know it.
I hope so.
Hey, listen, I have been a connoisseur of your humor for a long time. Everybody in our office was addicted to you for a long time. What we were addicted to was all those fake commercials. I mean, they were hysterical.
Oh, the rock comedy stuff, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There were all kinds of things. I mean, we used to sing some of the songs. I mean, we were kind of goofballs in our office.
Huh?
We were goofballs, but listen, we were also a connoisseur of your monologues, and you know, you do have to realize, as the last caller said, I think that your Christmas monologue is something that you're going to have to be given credit for one day. That is for sure. Someone's going to have to write it down because it was really good.
Write it down?
Well, I said a lot, but it was so
most
good.
people speak at about 7,000 words a minute, and that monologue can go for 4 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
I know. I heard it. I heard it 2 times, and it was good. And I told other people in my office, and we turned it on. You do got to be given a lot of credit for that. That is for sure.
Well, thank you, man.
But listen, I wanted to talk to you about your monologue.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was a connoisseur of your monologue. People in my office were. Our whole office would listen to you. As you walk down the hall, you could hear you going. But listen now, I have had some disagreements with you before, and I will tell you that listening to your monologue, well, first thing, I disagreed with one thing that you said a little while ago.
What's that?
You said that you viewed your previous show as a professional disaster. I didn't take that.
It was for what I do, for what my strengths are in this business, and for what the business has become. It was, a professional disaster. It was a very unique radio station. There was no place to go from that radio station except to a station that remembered what I was capable of doing.
Right.
And there aren't too many stations that remember what I was capable of doing.
Well, listen, now, I heard also what you said about considering how the audience flow. It was this concept, you said, it figures into the success formula for keeping a core audience and keeping the advertising, that sort of thing. And that's why, I'll tell you what, I'm serious. I was surprised when I listened to your reemergence monologue. I tuned in. People at the office told me to turn the radio on and listen to you, and I did with a lot of relish because I remember how fun you were. And I'll tell you what, an initial impression is a big thing, and I know you probably thought a lot about how you were going to make your monologue and how you were going to reappear on the scene or what have you. A lot of people were looking forward to it, and I'll tell you what, me sitting here, I was upset at a couple of things. Number one, you said that you like to make people miserable.
People that want to be miserable.
Of those who haven't thought things through the way that you have and hadn't come to your conclusion.
No, that's not what I said at all. Wait. That is not what I said.
You said you were intolerant of people talking without thinking. People you hear at the park, on the radio, at McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, I did say that, yeah.
You're so intolerant. You came across so bad. I was hating it. I was thinking, Bob done wrong.
Well, I told you I'd push your button.
I want to talk to you about a couple of specific things.
What's that?
All right. Let's go to the next thing. Now, I took a note because I have been a Bob Lassiter fan, and I thought you'd come out better off. And you didn't, because look at the next thing I got written on my notes. It says, you don't care about our answers. You don't care what we have to say. You only care about what you have to say.
I didn't say that.
You always turn it back on us, and you will find a way to blame us. I took those notes that you said it is you. You were the problem. And you said that you've been doing it for like 25 years.
Yeah.
And that you complained that Larson's show was the same thing. It was the same crap every day. And you never heard him say that it was his fault, but that you could only take so much of that because it is your fault. And you said your purpose was to piss off the angry white males who point their finger at everybody else. But, my God, that's how you was coming across. And I was thinking, am I in another universe right now? Am I hearing Bob Lassiter? You didn't come across good, buddy. Listen at this. You would blame. I remember listening to your show before, and one time I said you would blame the shooting at an abortion clinic on your listeners. You said they were pathetic. They were apathetic. That it was they that pulled the trigger. You ranted and raved for an hour, and me and people in my office invested an hour of our time listening to you talk about this issue. And then the very next day, you ran jokes for 6 hours about fat chicks riding the elevator. Now, Bob, I really do think that you came across bad in your opening monologue. You should have been a lot more fun. You should have had some pizzazz, some Las Vegas style of an opening, and some funness and some pizzazz that you have had, because I have been a connoisseur of your humor for a long time. And for some reason, you resorted to the dark side, just like you used to punish listeners by going to dead air, where you could hear Jeffy coughing in the background. You could hear Sharon ruffling her papers. Goodness gracious, Bob. I was looking forward to it, and I tell you what, I have been a loyal listener to WFLA for a long time, and I was disappointed, sir. So you can talk now, because I feel like I should give you a fair chance.
Well, I guess I accomplished what I said I was going to accomplish.
Yeah, you did.
Thanks, dude.
Okay, bye.
Be good. It's 9:23. Six and a half minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock. The American Kennel Club is out with their list of the most popular dog breeds. That's good. I look forward to that every year. They asked dog owners all over the country, maybe they asked you, which breeds they like best. And because he's always on top of the burning issues of the day, Mark Larson can't believe the results. And you can find out tomorrow morning at 9 just why that is. Right after Tampa Bay, AM Tampa Bay on the Mark Larson Show, which is, of course, a program that I've been saying for years is... Do I really have to finish that? I didn't think so.
Do the mad dog, do the mad dog, do the mad dog, do the mad dog. Don't do the twist, don't do the thrill.
Do the mad dog if you want to be cool.
Do the mad dog.
All right, make it twice.
Do the mad dog.
Get out of my way, I'm drinking here.
Do the mad dog.
No, dog, don't disco. I don't like this sweat, baby.
Don't you do the hustle, don't you do the thrill.
Do the mad dog if you want to be cool. Hey! Help! Hey! Bartender, hit me!
Sounds like good advice to me. Safety Harbor. Hi, Safety. You're on the air at WFLA.
Hey, what are you doing schmoozing with everybody? For crying out loud, you take 5 Tampa calls before you get to Pinellas County. What is up with that, Bobby?
I was just...
Bobby, you're starting off on the wrong foot.
Basically taking them as they were as they were coming.
Yeah, but what happened to the good old days where you alternated, Bob?
I never alternated. I always took my calls in order. Well, no, that's not true. When I worked here before...
You used to alternate.
No, I didn't.
You used to go Tampa, St. Pete, Tampa, St. Pete.
When I worked here before, I had an arrangement with Michael Serio.
See, he didn't have any silly-ass names.
17 cents a call.
I had an arrangement with Michael Serio, and Michael suggested calls to me, and it really had nothing whatsoever to do with how long they had been holding or anything else. But ever since then, it's been pretty much in order.
Bobby.
Yeah.
They're going to charge you 5 cents extra as a call tax in Hillsborough County.
Well, no, the line, it's not like it's costing you money or something.
You're going to get 23 cents for Hillsborough and 17 cents for Pinellas.
I mean, you had to wait, a whopping 30, 35 minutes, something like that.
Got it, Bob.
Do you know how long I waited to talk on the radio? 25 years, man, 25 years.
Bobby, I just listened to you about how many months ago? You really fired me up.
Yeah.
I want to be the first one you hang up on.
Oh, okay. It's 9:30. That's nice. I like that. Yeah, I'm not saying I didn't like the other stuff, but I've always been kind of a sucker for jazz organ, I don't know why. a very unjazzy, kind of an instrument, but 9:32 the time. Welcome back. Let's do Steve in Tampa. Hi, Steve. You're on the air at WFLA.
Welcome back, Mad Doggy.
Hey, thanks, man.
But that'll be the end of that. Two things real quick.
Yeah.
You know, we know what you've been doing since you've been off the air. Don't try and fool us.
Yeah, what's that?
We watched Seinfeld.
What are you talking about?
Is it a coincidence that, was it 2 weeks after you left when they had the episode about the cable guy?
I
You not watched the show?
No.
You've been writing for it. 2 weeks after you went off the air, Seinfeld had a cable show where Kramer was waiting to see the cable guy.
Yeah.
And the cable guy kept setting an appointment midday or a few days later. And Kramer was going crazy, never meeting the cable guy. Crazy. So then finally, he tells the cable guy to meet him there at a certain time, and he never shows up. So the cable guy ends up going crazy trying to find Kramer. He's chasing him throughout town. Hysterical.
No, I thought
maybe that's a coincidence.
No. Unfortunately, you see, the only the only Seinfeld show that I'm aware of is the one with the crazy soup maker. I thought that's what you were talking about.
Well,
Soup Nazi, yeah, okay.
I'll give you that, but you're going to tell me it's also a coincidence
because I love to make soup.
The next week, the episode was about Jerry and two other guys sneaking down a alley to buy special shower faucet things for the shower.
You see, life is not fair. The couple of times I have seen Seinfeld, I genuinely enjoyed it. It's a great ensemble comedy show, in the tradition of a Cheers or a MASH in its heyday. It's one of those great ensemble comedy shows that I would watch, except the problem is the way that my life is arranged. It is on at a very inconvenient time for me. And I feel like a moron sitting here saying, well, no, I didn't see Seinfeld. There's nothing wrong with the show. There's something wrong with my life. That's the problem.
It was just hysterical that the week after that, then the week they had him trying to get a special shower faucet because the ones they took out because the water department wouldn't let him get a nice one.
No! Oh, that's going too far.
It was hysterical. I figured, that's where he went. He's now writing for Seinfeld. I'm sitting there trying to read through all the credits and see what
I'd forgotten all about that because that drove me crazy when I moved into my house until I was able to get well, no, actually, I don't have one of those illegal shower heads. No, right, yeah, because they're illegal. If you had one, you'd be in non-compliance with the law, and I certainly wouldn't do that. Tampa, hi, Tom. You're on the air at WFLA.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, dude.
Hey, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. And then I'm describing my situation right now.
Yeah.
Okay, my little wolf, well, now she's not so little, but she's happy that you're back on the air.
Your wolf is happy that I'm back on the air.
Yeah, my wolf, wolf urine, all that.
Oh, yeah. To scare. Yeah. To drive away the mooses. Yeah.
But my fiance is not so happy that you're back on the air.
Oh.
So I don't know what to say. But I do.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me give you some advice because I told you I'm a talk radio listener too. And when I lived in Miami many years ago, I used to like listening to Neil Rogers, and Neil was on at night. And we lived in a relatively small apartment. There really wasn't any place to go to get away. And on top of that, my wife would have really been distressed if I was, sitting in another room listening to the radio. So what I did is I got a Walkman. And, and my hair was relatively long. I could almost hide the damn thing. And I would just sit there, and it looked like I was watching television or paying attention to her, and I was listening to the radio in actuality. And, sometimes Rogers did shows or segments that I was not particularly interested in, so I would, turn it down and participate in the festivities. You might consider the Walkman thing.
Bob, one problem.
Yeah?
I have every radio in my house, which is like 6 radios, on right now. So no matter where I walk, I can hear you. But
well, that's not going to do, dude. You're going to bum the lady out. But
well, she already just heard what you just said, so the Walkman's out.
Well, no, it's not.
Oh, okay. Hey, Dawn, I'm not going to wear a Walkman tomorrow, okay?
Well, you see, she won't notice the Walkman. Most people who spend a lot of time together don't really talk. You just spend time together. She'll never even notice. It'll just be like it normally is.
But since we mentioned it, she's going to notice it. Okay, but that's not my real dilemma.
Well, wait a second. No, I've got a dilemma. What's the why doesn't Dawn like my show?
Well, that leads us to my next question.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is your future show going to be fun or serious?
Both, but it'll be more on the serious side.
Okay. Because I didn't know you when you were back on FLA before.
Uh-huh.
I just knew you from WSUN.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me give you the secret. If it really works, I'll give you the secret as to how I made my mark in talk radio, in particular at this radio station, but also at WPLP. Okay? This is how I did it, and if this works, this is what will happen now. I will come in the evening and I will do a monologue, a very serious monologue, and it will run anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour and a half, depending upon how much I have to say. Now, the only reason I do the monologue, it's not because I think you care what I have to say. It's not because what I have to say I think is that important that you should hear it. And I'm being deadly serious with you. The purpose of the monologue, it serves two purposes. First of all, there are a handful of liberal zealots out there who desperately need someone to speak for them, and they think that I'm that individual. So they enjoy the monologues. But the real purpose of the monologue is to drive a certain element of the audience insane. And the reason they go on as long as they do is to make them so angry that they lose control. And I'm being serious. Then the objective for the remainder of the show, the body of the show, is for these poor souls who have lost it to foolishly pick up the phone and confront me, where I take them apart, much to the amusement and bemusement of the remainder of the audience. Now, that's the secret, if I'm able to accomplish that again. That couldn't be done at SUN because we didn't have the audience that understood what I was saying enough to get mad about it. They just looked at each other and said, huh?
Okay. Now, just for the other side. And it can be
very funny, too, by the way.
For the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I've listened to you ever since you were on WSUN. Okay, but an example of one of my favorite shows was, remember the hurricane last summer?
Mm-hmm.
And we had sort of like a snow day?
Yeah.
Because most of the places were closed down because the hurricane was coming?
Right.
Okay, my fiance and I listened to your show because it was just nothing but weird people calling, and it was a lot of fun. And I had a chance to call and tell you how much I was enjoying my snow day. And I mean, like right after we talked to you, wild sex. Bob, you have a power that you don't realize.
Well,
wild sex.
Well, I appreciate what you're saying, but unfortunately, most of the people who listen to this program are either too old for sex or, for whatever reason, are incapable. And, you know, I understand that that's what that does for you, but it's really a waste of time for the rest of the audience.
Oh, man. Yeah, but, I mean...
Look, how long have you, what's it, Dawn? How long have you and Dawn been together?
About 5 years.
Oh, God. You know, you've already extended your sex life 3.
But that's how
you're living on borrowed time.
Bob, that's how come you're so important to our sex life. Okay? Our sex life is depending upon you.
Well, you're right. I've been back for 3 years from Chicago, and you're 3 years beyond where you should have. Ooh, I see what you're saying, man.
Okay, man. I mean, very dependent upon you.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to go to the drugstore and buy protection or not. It all depends on how your show's going to go.
Well, does she really get worked up when elderly men who forget to put their teeth in call up and start screaming things like, "Communist! Communist! Go back to Russia!" Does that get her all hot and bothered?
No, she gets more hot and bothered when people call up and say, "Hey, you're an asshole," and I hang up.
Oh, dear.
She's weird. What can I say?
Yeah, well, you see the type of crowd that, I don't know.
Can you just do like 15 minutes of, not screening your calls? I mean, when I call up now, the people say, what do you want to talk about? And I had to say hi to Bob.
Yeah, that's what you typed up on the screen, hi.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's stupid. But, maybe do the, no screening calls for 15
Well,
minutes.
you see, there are 5 people in the control room. There is a person who screens calls. There is a person who pushes buttons. There is a person who types stuff onto the computer screen. When I worked here before, 1 person in there. Then we could afford a continuity writer.
All right.
But now, no. Now it's somebody to ask you, what you want to say, who passes it along to somebody else who types hi on the screen.
I don't know. Actually...
And they all work under aliases.
We're getting married in May.
Yeah. Oh, well, that'll put an end to your sex life.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah. So can you, at least until May?
Okay, I'll try till May.
To try to have some fun on the radio?
You're only asking for 2 months. That's not unreasonable.
Okay, I appreciate it.
When in May?
Bobby,
early or later?
I'm loyal.
Yeah.
I'll be with you, dude. Appreciate it. And,
yeah.
My little woofie, she appreciates you.
Oh, bet she
just
does.
Falls asleep right away when she hears your voice. That's really nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, be good, man.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
It's 9:43.
WFLA, dial 97.
9:46 the time. That was done for.
Serving the sun coast.
Just goes on and on. That was done for my pleasure. It was just whispered in my ear, blast from the past for you. It wasn't that long ago that I worked here. God. Let's do, what do we want to do here? Let's do Andy in Tampa. Hi, Andy. You're on the air at News Radio 970 WFLA. Hello, Andy? Do I have the right button there? I think I do. Pretty sure I do. Andy? Line 4 is tricky. Well, it's not tricky anymore. Let's do, Alan in Tampa. Hi, Alan. You're on the air.
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing great, man.
Hey, I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, that's fantastic.
I remember the day the radio died.
Yeah?
Oh, I was heartbroken. Others have come and gone. You remember Lionel?
Yes, I do.
My life went on after he left. I cared nothing. I found another. When you left, radio meant nothing. Your insight, your humor, it just meant so much, Bob.
God, Andy, you're such an intelligent young man.
Why, thank you.
Oh.
Where have you been? What have you been doing? Where have you been, man?
I've been hanging out at the house, dude.
Why don't you just go in guns a-blazing into the office there and just tell them you want your slot back?
Because it doesn't work that way. There are things called non-competes and contracts and all kinds of things like that. Today is literally the first day that I am legally able to speak on the air.
You could have squeaked in a few hours for the SWAT team cut you down. Could have.
No.
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry, man. But it's all better now. It's all better now, Alan, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, anytime.
Dog, baby.
All right, I'll kiss it. Let's do Jennifer in Lakeland. Hi, Jennifer. You're on the air at News Radio 970 WFLA. Hi.
Hi. I love this day. This is so great. I get in my car, and you are back.
Yes, I'm back.
I can't believe it. I am so happy. That dreamy voice. I get to hear it once again. I just have to tell you, thanks for rescuing me from Tom Likas. if I had to listen to him another day.
Oh, poor
I mean,
Tom.
I was a hair short of a nervous breakdown. And then here you come along. And also I wanted to extend the offer. If you need a personal assistant, I'm looking for a job. Just graduated from college. I've been a loyal listener. I'd love to work for you if you would have me.
Well, apparently to work here off the air, you have to have some type of colorful name.
Uh-huh.
What kind of colorful name do you have?
Colorful name?
Yeah, what we have, Spice.
I do have a colorful name. It is called
Stringers.
Emerson.
Emerson?
Uh-huh.
Well, it's not. That's a very nice name. Please don't misunderstand. But it's not. Apparently, it's very important to management that the off-air support staff have these colorful names.
Okay. Well, if you knew the story, I can't share the story with you.
Why not?
Because it's too embarrassing. Plus, then everybody would know who I was that was calling in, who knew the story about me. And I just can't risk that because then my
if they already know,
my present employer would know I'm trying to leave. So I can't let that be. I can't risk that. But it is. I assure you, it is a hell of a story. You would love it. But I just wanted to say I am so glad you're back. I'm just busting out all over, and I'm so happy. And I'll be listening to you. You've got a fan. Okay.
Hey, thanks, Jennifer.
Bye.
Be good.
Bye.
Which reminds me, why don't we have any cute, cuddly young things in there? All in sales, right. I've seen the sales staff. There ain't nothing exactly cute and cuddly about it. Snakes in their bras. Just like the ones over at the other station. They're all the same. Let's go to Clearwater. Hi, Clear, you're on the air at News Radio 970 WFLA. Oh, gee. You've got a lot of nerve, dude.
I'm telling you, I'm impressed.
Well, you ought to be impressed. I'm not impressed with that wimpy squeak toy.
Sorry about that, but it's made in China, though, too.
No way.
It is, I swear to God.
It's probably made in Poughkeepsie, and they're trying to give the Chinese a bad name. The Chinese would never put out a squeak toy like that.
It's hard, maybe they must have covered the USA up or something like that. I don't know. Hey, listen, I was the one that called you about the, I know this sounds so stupid. I got to work about an hour ago. Probably everybody's asked you about it. But about the turkey, I told Sharon, I said, if you have, she lived in an apartment, about if the turkey was too large to fit inside the oven.
Right.
I know this sounds so damn dumb. I heard it the next day that she said it cleared by like a half an inch. Did it come out all right? I know this sounds stupid, but did it?
Well, what do you mean? We made it a thing for 3 weeks, for God's sake.
I know, and I listened on Monday, and I thought, I swear to God.
What you guys don't know is that this was for real. And you couldn't see the expression on her face. For whatever reason, the first time I asked about it was just a throwaway, and I could just tell from the expression on her face that I had a winner here.
Right.
That this was going to be an interesting saga that would continue for days on end. No, the turkey came out fantastic. It just barely fit in the oven, but it came out fantastic, and it was a successful Thanksgiving Day feast.
That's great. I mean, when I called that time, it's because I'm certain you don't remember, but matter of fact, the next day you even said to me that you would run into that beforehand because that ruined. You buy too large a turkey and you live in an apartment and it doesn't fit inside the oven. You don't realize it till you go to put it into the oven.
Well, right. Especially if you're talking like an electric oven that has those damned broiler elements that stick down, and it's a disaster.
So anyway, I mean, that's been killing me all the way up until now. I know it sounds small. I'll tell you what, I listen to you.
No, it's not small, man. It's very, very flattering that we had enough of an effect in your life that, here it is 4 months later, you give a crap about whether the turkey came out. No, that's very flattering.
Bob, I listened to you on FLA when Dick Norman was on. I remember the parade, the whole 9 yards. You were the best, and that's no lie. These people have no idea what they're in for because you're the best.
Yes, I am.
All right, take care.
Hey, you too.
All right.
9:53. Let's do Eric in Clearwater. Hi, Eric. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
You know what Christmas is? Christmas is Christmas trees, Christmas lights, dinner with the family, and your show with your monologue on for 4 hours. It's like a holiday treat.
Thank you very much.
And
you know, I always enjoyed doing it, but I never realized how much it meant to me until I couldn't do it this year.
Yeah, but you never realize how much it meant to everybody else out there, because you laugh with it, you cry with it, you get mad, you feel relief, a whole ton of emotions.
I really missed doing it this year. I missed it very much, and I promise you, barring disasters, it will be done this coming year.
Yeah, and you know, there's only really other...
And actually, it'll be on Christmas Eve, too, if I'm not mistaken. I believe, I forget what day Christmas Eve is, but it will be this time. It'll be, Christmas Eve evening, even more apropos.
They're going to have to give you an extra hour.
Oh, no, it's really a 2-hour monologue as a favor to SUN. I stretched it to 4 hours, but it's... I really only have 2 hours worth of material.
Hey, other than you, there's only one thing I missed from the other station, and that was Carl from the Hooters show.
Oh, yeah.
I could never figure out if that guy was real or if that was just somebody,
Jeez,
playing.
I'm sure it was real. They wouldn't put a phony call in. No, it had to be real, dude.
Whatever happened to the Hooter girls?
Beats me.
I mean, they couldn't go too much bigger and better things. Yeah, I don't know if insurance would support it.
The girls are working on another station. It's out of Bradenton, I believe, or is it Brandon? And I would tell you the call letters if I could remember them. They're on sometime in the middle of the day. That's not, the hours are similar, but not exactly the same. I think they come on a little bit later.
Yeah.
But they are out there somewhere. It's on the AM dial. It's a station out of Brandon, I guess.
Well, you made a profound change in my life, because 2 years ago you really rode into me when I called up complaining about the world doing young people wrong by not having insurance and providing a free ride for people who don't get jobs and want to have babies, and you really rode into me, and I sat down.
I don't remember that. From what you're saying on, what did I, rip into you for?
Well, because you mentioned it in your monologue tonight. That everybody, basically everybody is their own enemy. And to call, you really do. You really strike up some anger in some of those monologues. But I always got the idea that you were getting some things off your own chest at the same time.
Hey, I've said it 1,000 times before. I'll say it 1,000 times again. I will never accuse you, and that's a generic you, the audience. I will never accuse you of anything I am not guilty of myself.
Well,
I too talk a good game. Don't live as good a game or a life as I should. And nothing's going to change, nothing's going to get better until you do the right thing and until I do the right thing all the time. Then and only then will all these things that trouble us and hassle us improve.
Well, I get my associate's degree this fall, and I owe good 50% of the effort to you because listening to you to just your ideals on life, not just when you ride into people, but your Christmas monologue says it all. The hardships that you went through, you kept on going, you kept on going, you kept on going, and I am very happy that you're back.
Hey, thanks, man.
It's super emotional. Tears came to my eyes when laughter, but tears came to my eyes when I first heard your voice. It's awesome to have you back.
Oh, thank you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
And by the way, what does frog mean?
There was a very, very serious problem years ago in that people would just stop talking, and they wouldn't say the conversation's over or goodbye. And so I assumed, this goes back to Chicago, and so I assumed that there was this very serious problem in Chicago that did not exist in the rest of the country, where people didn't know how to terminate a conversation, and so they needed a word. And the first word that came to my mind was frog. And so I said, look, it's rude to just, leave me hanging there like that. And when you're finished talking, just say a frog. And it caught on, and that's what it means. It means the conversation's over.
Well, one caller mentioned it earlier about Lionel, and when Lionel left, boy, that was a heartbreaker. And the same thing when you left. Now, if they could just get Lionel back, I tell you what, it'd be one awesome station.
Yes, it would.
You have a good evening.
Hey, you too.
And Frog.
My God, look at the old clock on the wall. Well, we did it, huh? I came home, and so did you. Thanks. I appreciate it. We'll do it again tomorrow. Be good.